What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully it's not the first time that you're watching my videos, but in case it is, I am a fourth year medical student and biomedical science graduate studying at King's College London. And guys, we did it. It's been a whole minute and we finally reached 25,000 subscribers, which absolutely blows my mind. When I first started this channel, I honestly thought that 25,000 subscribers was like impossible to reach. I honestly thought that 5,000 was impossible to reach, then 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and we finally reached 25,000. So I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys who've subscribed to my channel over the last couple of years. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. YouTube has honestly like changed my life in so many ways. I can't honestly describe to you guys how it's come in and completely like disrupted my life in the best way possible. So thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I definitely don't plan on stopping. We're only just getting started here, guys, so let's keep going. But in this video I'm going to be doing something different. We're going to do a Q&A. The last time I did a Q&A was when I hit 10,000 subscribers back in March. Things have changed since then, so we're going to do a 25,000 subscriber Q&A, and the next one I'll probably do is when I hit 50,000 subscribers. So keep liking the videos, keep commenting down below, and help your boy get to 50k. But alright, so many of you guys send me loads of questions over on my Instagram, so we have hella questions to get through, and I'm gonna try my best to answer every single question that you guys send me in. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first question is, give us a piece of advice for med students. So my best advice for med students will be keep living your life. Like, don't dedicate your whole entire life to medicine. It's so easy to get trapped into the cycle of just like working so hard for medicine and forgetting the rest of your life. It's really easy to do that, guys. So trust me when I say this. Carry on seeing your friends, carry on seeing your family, do something on the side that interests you, like YouTube for me. Carry on all those things you started off before you got into med school. Remember that medicine is a part of your life and not your entire life. So carry on doing things outside of your life to keep things interesting, because you're in it for the long run. Like, med school is 5 years and you're going to carry on specializing for the rest of your life. So make sure you have a life outside of medicine. Don't give up all of your dreams as soon as you get into med school. And that'll be honestly the best piece of advice that I'd have for you guys who are doing medicine. Next question is, how has fourth year been so far? Fourth year has honestly been like, it's only been 2 weeks, since starting, and it's been my best year of medical school so far. And there's a few reasons why. The first reason why is that you're fourth year now, you're a senior medical student, so you're allowed to do way more stuff as before. I kind of felt like second year and kind of part of third year was more like being a work experience, but fourth year is legit. This is when we're actually like taught to be doctors. We're actually training to be more like a doctor, and I've felt more like a doctor in the last 2 weeks than I have done in my whole entire career so far. I get to cannulate, I get to do so many bloods, I get to assess patients. I get to be the first person to assess patients when they come in, because I'm currently on my A&E rotation. So as soon as a patient comes in, I get to be one of the first people that assesses the patients, takes a history from them. We're going to be able to do loads of intubation as well, so putting people to sleep for surgery and putting a pipe down their throats. So like, fourth year is a step up from third year, and I can't even imagine what fifth year is going to be like, but I definitely feel like more of a doctor so far, and I've done the maddest thing so far. Keep an eye out for my future videos where I describe more about fourth year, but fourth year has been so sick so far. The next reason why is also because I'm not in central London anymore. I'm actually in a district general hospital, so being in the DGH means that there's less competition, it's less busy, there's a lot more doctors per patient, so doctors actually have a lot more time to teach you and spend with you, and they let you do a lot more things that they wouldn't let me done in a central London hospital. So fourth year has been a madness so far. All right, next question is, as an aspiring medical student, what areas for you are mentally challenging during med school? All right, it's a good question. I think what I find particularly challenging is when you see some patients on the wards who are really unwell, and especially the mentally unwell patients. So last week I saw a patient who came in with an overdose, so they actually tried to commit suicide, and when they come in, they just tried to end their life. They're still conscious and they're talking to you and they're really upset, and I was actually the first person in the A&E to assess this patient and talk to them and see them and take some blood for them and stuff like that, and I found that really hard. When it comes to mentally unwell patients who then actually try to physically take their life, and just generally really sick patients, that can actually be really hard to deal with as a med student. So that's the first thing that I'm still learning to kind of get to grips with, and I hopefully will kind of get used to it over the years to come, but that is something I found really challenging so far. And of course, when it comes to like exam period times and you spend like 12 hours revising a day, 10 hours revising a day, close to your exams, that can definitely be like mentally challenging. Staying in a library or being at home alone for a number of hours a day, that is also a period of time where I noticed my kind of happiness and mental health kind of, go down a little bit. But then it comes back up when we finish the exam and we go traveling, we carry on with life. But those are kind of two main things I found really mentally challenging so far as being a med student. All right, next question is, what has been your favorite hospital placement experience so far? All right, so I actually made a full video on this one, yeah. There was a day when I was in hospital and I was in for the morning, and for the rest of the afternoon, I was actually completely free. So rather than going home, I went to the labor ward because I really wanted to see a baby being born. So I rocked up to the labor ward and I asked if there were any babies being born, and they're like, yeah, there's a C-section going on in one of the theaters, so go ahead and watch that. I went into the theater and one of the surgeons was like, Kenji, would you mind scrubbing up and helping me? So I scrubbed up and helped in surgery to deliver a baby. I actually got a chance to actually suture the patient back up together, and that was an absolute madness. And then straight after that, I went for lunch, and when I came back to the wards, they were like, oh, by the way, a baby is being born in one of the wards. Go ahead and help out with that. So I got my hands dirty. I was literally like covered in blood and baby feces and like just loads of mad stuff, and I got absolutely baptized in all these fluids. I actually made a full video on this, so go check that out if you haven't already. But being one of the first people to touch and hold a baby, passing to the mother, and just seeing like life happen in front of you made me realize like how alien and how weird like the human species actually is, and how mad we actually are as a human species. To see a baby come out of another human being was an absolute madness, and that was my craziest day so far in med school. But yeah, as I said, go watch that video for the full breakdown of actually what happened. Next question is, do you think if you'd done medicine without doing biomed, would it be difficult for you? It definitely would have been a bit more difficult because I wouldn't have had the like scientific knowledge, beforehand. I wouldn't have learned about myself and learned how best I work and how best I study. So definitely would have been, more difficult for me. Not impossible by any means, because loads of my friends hadn't done biomed before, but having done biomed made, doing medicine so much easier. So that's my answer to that question. The next question is, can I like DM you anytime and will you reply, man? I got so many questions to ask you. I really wish I could respond to all of the DMs in my Instagram. The really difficult thing is that as soon as I hit around 10,000 subscribers, I get around 10 to 15 messages per day. And I do try my best to reply to everyone when I'm on like the bus or if I'm not busy and stuff like that. But being a med student is so like busy, and being able to sit down and reply to everyone has just become almost impossible. And please, by all means, do send me a message if you can, and I'll try my best to get back to it. But please don't be offended if I don't get back to you. It's not because I don't want to. I really want to talk to you guys and hang out with you guys if I can, but it really just kind of isn't possible. But I think what will be really cool one day in the future is to do a kind of like meet up with all of you guys in London. Maybe say a day that I'll be in London and let everyone come and say hi and talk and answer all of your questions and stuff like that. So if you would be interested in that, let me know down in the comments below, and as soon as coronavirus is done, we can arrange like a meet and greet sort of session to just talk to you guys and answer all your questions. So I hope that helps. Next question is, what are the best ways to make money as a medical student? I actually have a full video on how I make money during medical school, so go check that video out. But you can work a job like a healthcare assistant, you can help out in the hospital in that way. You could also do tutoring as well, which earns you loads of money. You could also start a YouTube channel or do something online to make passive income as well. But go check that out for the full breakdown on how to make money as a med student. Next question is, did you do a dissertation for biomed? And the answer is yes, I did. I wrote a 20,000 word dissertation on biomed, which was probably the hardest and worst period of my life, but I got it done. I actually have my dissertation up on my website if you'd like to check it out and get yourself a copy, so go check that out. Next question is, if you hadn't gone for medicine, what would you have done with your biomedical science degree? If I didn't go for medicine with my biomed degree, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have done much with it. I probably would have changed fields completely. I probably would have done like maybe business or global health or entrepreneurship or something. I really do want to go into science and be a scientist. I love to be a scientist, don't get me wrong, but I love being a scientist as a medic. I don't want to be a full-time scientist in a lab kind of pipetting all day. Some of my friends did that and that's absolutely amazing, but that just wasn't for me. I do like it now because I get to see patients and I get to like have that kind of patient social contact, which really makes me happy. So I have all that happiness which I can then store into the lab and go into the lab and like hang out with my cells all day. But I probably wouldn't have done much with my biomedical science degree, to be honest with you, if I hadn't gone into medicine. But having said that, I probably would have continued trying to get into medicine if I didn't get in this time. So that's my answer. The next question is, how can I buy your mind maps? Because I'm a Brazilian medical student. By mind maps, I'm guessing you mean my notes. All my medicine revision notes that I used to pass all of my medical school exams in first, second, and third year are all up my website. So go to like kenjitomita.co.uk to check out my notes. The next question is, did you take medicine as your second bachelor after biomed? And if yes, how old are you? So yes, I get this question a lot. Some people think I dropped out of biomed and went into medicine or went to like through a transfer program, but no, I completely graduated from biomed. You can see my my certificate and like my degree up on the wall and my graduation photo up here as well. So I completely did the whole 3 years of biomed and then moved on to medicine. I started medical school when I was 21 years old and I'm currently 24 years old, about to turn 25 years old. I know I'm getting hella old, don't judge me guys. But again, there's a full video on my whole process into medical school and I'll link it up there somewhere. Next question is, how hard is medicine? That's a really hard question to answer because I guess it depends on who you are, how much you study, and you know what your background is in education. All of these, there's so many different factors, so it's really hard to answer that question. But I spoke about this in the last video. I found biomedical science a lot harder than medicine. I think there's this kind of common assumption that medical school is impossible, it's so hard, and like of course it is hard. Being a medical student is hard, but it's not impossible. Some people think like it's literally impossible and as soon as you start medical school your life will be over, and that's not true by any means. I do find medicine difficult at times throughout the year, but generally speaking, you know, there is time for me to go out and socialize with my friends, to have a life outside medical school. So I don't think it's very hard. I don't think it's an impossible degree. There definitely are degrees out there which are probably just as hard as medical school, like biomedical science, like I said, maybe engineering, politics. You know, it's not an impossible degree to do, so I'd not let that stop you if you're worried. Next question is, what time do you usually get up? All right, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think people think I wake up at like 6 a.m. and do loads of work and have like 3 hours sleep a night, and that is really not true. I am definitely not a morning person, and getting up to go to hospital at like 7:30 a.m. for me is so hard. Not gonna lie to you guys. I'm more of like an evening worker, so I don't mind working until like 9-10 p.m. every night and wake up a bit later. So the time I wake up normally depends on when I start in med school, because sometimes I'm in A&E, and A&E I start at 10 a.m. Sometimes I'm in surgery, which starts at like 8 a.m. So it really does vary, but generally I'd like to say that I wake up around 7:45 a.m. ish, because I live so close to the hospital now. So around 7:45 during the week is when I wake up, and on the weekends, honestly, it's a madness. I wake up at like 9 or 10 a.m. on the weekends. So that is my answer to this question. And last thing, yeah, sleep is so important. Like, it's so underrated. People are like, oh, I sleep 6 hours, 5 hours, and I really don't believe in that. Sleep is so important. So I always get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. 8 for me is the perfect amount of sleep, so 8 is what I like to aim for, but I normally get around 7 hours sleep on average every night, and you guys should too. Next question is, are you single? And after this question is actually a question asking, do you plan to visit Latin America? And I kind of answer this question all together. Yes, my girlfriend is actually half Brazilian, and she loves to go to Brazil all the time, so I would absolutely love to go with her to Brazil and see her country. So yes, hopefully next year, as soon as COVID's over, we'll be going to Brazil. So that's my answer to that question. All right, next question is, what is your favorite film of all time? And hands down, this is so easy for me to answer. Yeah, my favorite film of all time is I Am Legend, and if you've seen I Am Legend, then you're an absolute legend. I love that movie. I don't know why, but it's kind of like my go-to like sad movie. Like whenever I'm feeling down or whenever I'm tired or just like in the mood to watch like a chilled movie, I Am Legend is what I turn on. I honestly don't know why I watch it when I'm sad. Maybe it's because like spoiler alert, when Will Smith kills a dog and he, you know, it's just so sad. I don't know if it's because I can like relate to Will Smith or relate to the dog or something, but I Am Legend is my favorite film of all time. Next question is, how is Kent compared to London for placement? So I kind of already answered this, but as I said, the doctors here have so much time to teach you and actually be with you. So the kind of teaching in a district general hospital like in Kent is way better. The hospitals are a lot more empty. There's not as many patients. So the doctors aren't as like stressed for time, and they actually let you do so much more. So when I was last in London on my A&E rotation, I literally saw very few patients, if anyone, on my own. A lot of the times will be me shadowing a doctor and they'll be doing the whole you know, history taking and investigations and everything. But here, at least 2 or 3 times a day, I go in and I get to see a patient all by myself for the first time. I get to take a full history from them. I get to examine them. I also get to do a few investigations for them, like take blood from them or cannulate them. So I feel a lot more as part of the team out here in Kent. And the last thing is, I'm not entirely sure why. I'm still trying to work this out, but it seems like the patients here and the doctors as well are so much nicer in London. I don't know if it's because in London, like everything's so stressful, you know, things are so expensive and it just makes people so grumpy, but like literally out here in Kent, people are so kind. Apart from this one patient I had yesterday who the first thing he said to me is, oh, you're not English. That was a bit weird. But apart from that guy, people here are so nice and so kind. And that's what I love so far about being in Kent. And actually, I'm considering being here for my foundation training as well. But stay tuned for that. Next question is, how do you balance your work with social time? Do you ever find medicine too intense? And yeah, I mean, being in med school, like, not gonna lie to you, is quite stressful. You have a lot of hours where you have to be in placement or, you know, doing lectures and stuff. And it can really like get in the way of your life if you let it. The way that I balance my social life with my medicine life is that I actually make sure that I schedule in time for myself, time for my friends and family, and the people that matters most to me. So every single day I make sure I schedule in at least 1 hour at the gym. I make sure I schedule in, you know, at least half an hour to 45 minutes talk to my friends and family. I try my best to keep at least one day on the weekend free if I can, if not both days on the weekend free. And the way I do this is by working really hard during the week and being very efficient with my time so that on the weekend I have time to actually chill and do other things outside medical school. But yeah, to answer your question, it's to be very intentional and deliberate with spending time outside of medical school. You always will feel like there is something to do. You'll always feel like you're slacking. You'll always feel like you're behind because there's always something new to learn and an exam to prepare for. So it really is important to be intentional and deliberate with getting away from medical school and forcing yourself sometimes to go schedule things in outside medical school. So that's exactly what I do to balance that. Next question is, what do you do to wind down and relax from a long day? And I want to be completely honest with you guys. As you can see behind me over here, I've got an Xbox and it's connected to my monitor. So what I do after a long day during the weekday is just play some Xbox with my friends. I play a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Warzone. So that's what I tend to do if I have time as well. Or to be honest with you, I just film videos or edit videos on my monitor over here. And that really for me is a great way to relax after a long day. And definitely go gym as well. Hitting gym at least 4 times a week for me is really good to relax and to chill. And I signed up to this new gym recently that has like a sauna and a jacuzzi and stuff like that, which for me is like the best thing ever. And I end up wasting so much time in there, not gonna lie, but that's the way that I kind of chill. Next question is, what type of questions did you have in your medicine interviews? I mean the one you had for medicine. All of the questions I had for my medicine interviews and a lot more are over on my website where you can have a look at my medicine interview notes. And it honestly has everything that I think you guys need to prepare for your interviews, so go check that out. Next question is, how do you organize your placements outside of London, and do all you need to do this? So as you guys know, I'm not in London anymore. I'm actually in an area of England called Kent, which is in the southeast of England. I have no idea why it took me so long to calculate, but yeah, I'm in Kent, which is in the southeast of England. I'm not in London anymore, and it really depends on the university you go to, but the way it works in King's is that from years 1 to 3 you'll be in London for sure for all of your clinical placements, and in year 4 and 5 you have the choice to go out into pretty much anywhere in the southeast of England. You could be in Brighton, you could be in Margate, you could be in Ashford, you can be here in Kent, you could be in Maidstone, in Tunbridge Wells. And the way that works is you're given a random number from number 1 to 500, and if you get number 1, it means you have the first choice in the whole entire year to choose where you want to go in the country. If you get number 500, that means you have the last choice in regards to where you want to go. You can then go ahead and select which area of the country you want to be in for your hospital placements, and that's how it works at King's. Next question is, what made you pursue medicine? The main reason I pursued medicine is that I was actually brought up in Kenya, which is the third world country, and growing up in Kenya, we used to go to the slums all the time to volunteer and to help out the kids and help build the infrastructure and play with them. And that's when I kind of realized what becoming a doctor can do for not just me and my family, but for loads of people in Kenya who don't have access to healthcare for free like we do in the UK. So it really was my dream to become a doctor and to go back one day and give up a lot of my time volunteering to provide free healthcare to areas like Kenya and to loads of third world countries. So that's what really made me want to become a doctor. Next question is, any specialties in mind? So this honestly changes for me so much. When I first came to medical school, I was like, you know what, I want to be the best surgeon in the country. I want to own like 3 hospitals. I want to spend all my time, you know, working in hospitals. And as time has gone on, that has completely changed. Now being in my 4th year medicine, I honestly don't want to be that busy. I don't want to be that guy who works, you know, 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week and spends all of his time in hospital. That is cool for some people, but I'm realizing that's just not me. So what I'm considering now is probably like 50% GP. I would love to maybe work in a GP, you know, 2 or 3 days a week, maybe even own the GP myself and have that clinic myself to me. But yeah, maybe work 3 days a week and then spend the other 2 days in the week doing maybe business, entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, YouTube of course, and also some global health work in my spare time as well. So I'm currently toying with the idea of GP, and I'm also looking at different specialties like maybe cardiology, maybe obs and gynae. I'm not entirely sure, but right now I'm probably leaning towards becoming a GP and doing things also outside of medicine as well, so I can have time to do what I want to do in my life, have time to spend with my family, and yeah, that's currently where my head is at. Next question is, when did you first move to the UK? I first moved to the UK when I was 9 years old, and I went back to Kenya for 2 years since then, and I most recently came back to the UK when I was 14 years old. Next question is, what ways can you fund medicine as a second degree? I have a full video on how I'm able to fund medicine through scholarships and loans, so I'll link that video up there somewhere, so go check that out. Next question is, what are your plans for the channel for the future? I'm not entirely sure, and I guess that kind of depends how things go with my own personal life and stuff like that, but I definitely want to get back to posting at least one video a week. I want to keep documenting my life in med school, and then eventually I do want to branch out into other things I'm interested in, maybe do things like fitness, which I'm really passionate about, maybe do things like philosophy and kind of like life advice as well. I'd love to do videos like that as well once my channel grows a bit more, and I also want to make YouTube more of a, you know, kind of part-time job on the side. I really want to become like an entrepreneur / YouTuber, and there's so many YouTubers like Ali Abdal who really inspire me to do that. So my plan is to keep documenting my life as a medic, to maybe go into maybe work more in entrepreneurship with my YouTube channel, and lastly branch out to different areas that I'm also interested in, like fitness and philosophy as well. Next question is, have you ever doubted your capability of becoming a doctor? And I'm so glad you asked that, honestly, because I think imposter syndrome is something that all medics get, or at least, like, speaking for myself, imposter syndrome is something I get, like, you know, every single week, sometimes every single day. As a med student, there's so many like scary things that we do. For example, yesterday I cannulated a patient for the first time, and what a cannula is putting a line into a patient's vein so you can give them some medications and some drugs, and that for me was like quite scary, and I had to fake my confidence, and that was actually the first patient I've ever cannulated in my life, and I failed. I wasn't actually able to get blood. I tried twice and I couldn't do it, and after things like that, it definitely affects my confidence, and you definitely have in the back of your mind, you know, worry like, oh my god, maybe I can't be a doctor, maybe I'm not good enough, and that happens, you know, all the time. You know, with your life, any med student told you that never ever happens. You know, imposter syndrome is something that I also face, and I'm sure a lot of people face as well, and it's all about, you know, fake it till you make it, and also just working your confidence every single day and reminding myself that actually I'm supposed to be here, I'm meant to be here, I work so hard to be here, and the fact that I'm still here is evidence that I can keep going. So my answer to that is yes. Next question is, are you happy you did an undergrad in biomedicine? Would you change anything? And honestly speaking, I definitely would not change anything. Studying biomed for me was the best decision of my life. I met the best friends ever, the best people ever, who are now like my family. I had the best time in Birmingham with them. I learned so much about myself, so much about how I learn, so much about, you know, the human body, and best of all, I got 3 extra years of summer in biomed as well. So honestly speaking, I would not change a thing. Even if I can go back in time and click my fingers and start medical school at 18, I definitely would not do it. I think that doing biomed for me is definitely what's going to make me a better doctor, because I'll be a bit older, and that's only my personal opinion. I think I was not ready to be a medical student at 18, and starting medical school at 21 for me was hands down the best decision I've ever made, so I definitely wouldn't change a thing. Alright guys, so unfortunately my battery actually died towards the end of the Q&A, but it's all good because that was actually the last question that I had to answer for you guys. So I honestly just want to say again, thank you guys so much for all the support you've given me over the last few years. It's been so amazing, like all the nice comments, all the likes, all the subscribing, like absolutely everything you guys do means so much to me, and I want to thank you again so much for subscribing to my channel and giving me all the support that you have done. If you've reached this far in the video and you're not subscribed yet, please show you are subscribed, because we're only just getting started. More videos are coming and more content is coming for you guys. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.